Hey everyone, this is Jeff. Welcome to Outer Worlds Comics. Glad to have you back joining me. Hope everyone's doing good out there. I'm filming this on a Wednesday night because it's raining and I'm bored, and I figured I'll just make another video because I've been sitting on some recent wins on Facebook Marketplace, and I've had a lot of fun actually the last 3 weeks finding some good scores. So I thought I would show off one that was very exciting to me. I was checking out on Facebook Marketplace, and on Facebook Marketplace, I saw two listings, and one of those listings showed a bunch of heavy metal magazines spread out, which I love heavy metal magazines. And the other one was a listing that showed Mad magazines and some comics. One of those comics looked like a really good comic. I knew the comic, and I was like, ooh, that's interesting. So I messaged the person and asked him, "Hey, what would you take? Let me back up a little bit. Each of the listings, so the heavy metal magazine said $200, and then the other listing with the Mad magazines and some comics also said $200. So he was asking for $400 for all in. You do the math, so I." I sent him a message, said, "Hey, what do you think about $200 for everything?" And the person was like, "I would do that, but I have since learned that the comics have some value." And I said, "All right, can you send," because I looked at the pictures of the comics and there was one that had some value, but I couldn't tell what the condition was. And I was thinking what I was seeing on one of the comic that I wanted looked like it had a problem. So I said, "Do you mind just sending some pictures and giving me an idea on those comics?" And he did. He sent me some much better photos, and the comic in question was beat up, like chewed up by a rat or something. I don't know. So I just said, "Hey man, you can keep the comics. Would you be interested in making the deal for $150? If you want," because I think I said, truthfully, the condition of the comics that would have some, they don't have any value based on the condition, like very little value. So yes, if they were in great shape, for sure, you've got something there, but they're in not great shape. So I don't think there's much value there. But if you want to make that deal on your own, go ahead. You can keep the comics. Would you take $150 for everything? And he goes, "I've actually been getting offers, but you were first in. Let's just do $200 all in. You can have everything." And I said, "Fine, let's do it." And he lived about a little over an hour away, way out in the eastern Colorado, which you start getting out in the eastern plains there. It's a whole different world. So I drove up there and picked up a bunch of boxes of heavy metal magazines and Mad magazines and all that. So why don't we jump into me showing you what I've kept in my collection, and we'll highlight some of that stuff, and then maybe I'll show you kind of what I've sold and what I'm selling, and I'll show you how it all makes sense, that I was able to make this deal where I'm really happy with it, and I've really bulked up my heavy metal collection, which I'm really excited about. So let's pop in real quick and I'll show you what I got. All right, so let's see what we got. First off, I mentioned some comics that did not look so good. So there wasn't a lot. I think there was some that I just maybe even threw away. They were just nothing. But here's what I did keep just for kickers, shits and giggles. This Amazing Spider-Man 216, which is the second appearance or the third appearance of Madame Web. Anyway, it's seen better days, but I kept that. This one is definitely seen better days. Back cover, totally gone. But this says the debut of the Dial. So there you go. So I didn't throw it away. We picked up, this one actually was the best condition, and it's got some love for sure. But Unexpected number 171. I'll probably actually keep this. I don't have it in my collection. I don't mind keeping some lower grade on some of this stuff until I can upgrade it, but it's not horrible. So I did keep that. And then here's the one that he did find out there was some value. And there you go. Marvel Premiere, number 15, the debut of Iron Fist. But as you can see, there's some serious issues going on right there. Yikes. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But anyway, I have one. I'll keep it, I guess. I don't know what I'll do with it. I don't know enough about like value, like if something like that would like just make this worth like $5. I don't know. So you guys tell me, like, what is a book like, you know, a book that's in high grade that's worth a little bit of money? What does this condition end up doing to it? I don't know on a book like this. So anyway, I got those, which was fun. All right, so then I mentioned that they had a lot of Mad magazines. I sold all of the Mad magazines. So I was going to save that for after I go through this, but I'll just mention that there was exactly 50 Mad magazines, which I sold as a lot on eBay. And I'll pop that up on the screen, what it sold for. So I made a little bit of money on that. That helped definitely take a little chunk out of my investment of $200. So I was really happy about that. In addition to the Mad magazines, there was I think, well, with the two that I kept, there was 24 of these Mad paperbacks. So I sold those as well, and got a little money out of those. But I kept two of them because I do collect Mad magazines. The Mad magazines that I sold, I had the ones that I would have wanted. I already had really nice copies of those, so there was nothing in there that I needed for my collection. But I don't have any of these Mad Signet books, which they have a little value. I mean, nothing crazy, but I sold them as a lot. You'll see here, I'll pop it on the screen. But I don't have any of these, but I did keep two because I just enjoyed the covers. So I'll keep that in the collection. And then I kept this one as well. I just thought that was really fun. So this is something interesting to have in my library, I guess, of funky stuff. So that was cool. And then I did keep this. Big hardcover. I did sell, I'll pop it up on the screen. There was a couple of Spy versus Spy books. I'm not a big Spy versus Spy guy. So I did let go of those. But I did keep this because I just thought it was great. It's in really nice condition. It does have some value. And I just felt, hey, this is nice to have in my library as well. So very cool. 5 decades of his finest work, Sergio Aragonés. Obviously, I know who this person is, but guess I've never really pronounced his name out loud. So there you go. I gave it my first trial run. But very cool. I was happy to add that in the collection. And then they had some other kind of Signet books and some of these other kind of things. It's like Andy Caps and stuff. But they had this Batman. And this is a first printing. This actually has some value. There's a very high grade copy of this book that sold for $100 recently on eBay. I'll show that here. Obviously, this one has some condition issues. But, on the spine, it looks fine. So, it's just something I'll display along with the Mad books. And I've got some other of these kind of superhero books from these kind of books here. So I'll just add it to the collection. They look nice with the spine. So I kept that. Now, all right, let's get into the heavy metal magazines. So I kept more than I'm about to show as far as just in this kind of format, and I'll get into the other ones I kept. But these are the ones that were keys or ones that I just thought were really, really awesome. So we got heavy metal Morbius. This is from Mobius. This is from 1980, and I'm a big Mobius fan. I love his artwork, and again, I've talked about my love of music and certainly psychedelic rock. And a lot of that 70s like krautrock and space rock, things like that. Mobius was kind of in that realm for sure with his artwork. So I've just always been, turned on by what he does. And this is just a really cool. It's got Mobius stories in it, Mobius art. It's in pretty nice shape. There's a few little issues on the spine, but nothing significant. I really like it. It's in really, really nice shape. So I kept that. This is Heavy Metal number 26 from 1979, and it is a key. I should pop that up on the screen. It's an 8-page, includes an 8-page teaser of the Heavy Metal graphic novel Alien: The Illustrated Story. So it's based off of Alien the movie that came out around the same time. You can see that mentioned right up here. So yeah, and it's not in bad condition either. So it's got a little value, but it looks pretty nice. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the Heavy Metal stuff from the first issues up until 84, let's say, is what I collect. And I've got a nice chunk of it already, but I added a lot. And a lot of the stuff that I do have is in pretty high grade. So once I've collected it, started getting that collection in high grade, thanks to my guy, Pockets Full of Comics, or Pocket Full of Comics. He was selling a bunch of Heavy Metal, all in really nice condition, at least the ones I got. So now I'm kind of being a snob and trying to keep everything in relatively high grade for my collection, which is not easy, at least so far. So this one I did keep, and it's not perfect. It's got a little staple issue up here. It's got some more spine wear. But this is Heavy Metal number 52 from 1981, and it's got a Jim Steranko story in it and a Stephen King short story. So yeah, it's got a couple of heavy hitters appearing with stories in this issue. You can see right up there in this issue, Stephen King Terrifies, and it's got a really cool, sexy robot cover. So really love this one. And I did kind of break my condition rule, but it's not bad. I mean, it does have some staple issues, but still attached. All right, this one is a beautiful cover. It's got that one tick there. Otherwise, it's in pretty nice condition. This is Heavy Metal number 53 from 1981, and this is the first appearance of Taarna. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's Taarna, so I'm saying it Taarna. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know how you can do that though, because you would type the comments and I would still pronounce it wrong. So maybe you'd have to call me, or if you see me at Heroes Con, grab me and say, this is how you pronounce it. So anyway, this is the first appearance of Taarna, who is the classic. If anybody knows anything about Heavy Metal, like me, we learned it through the animated movie. So that woman, that badass woman that's like riding a Pegasus, that's Taarna. So this is her first appearance in this issue right here. So it's got some value. Key book. And then we have here, I just love this cover so much. And this one does have a little bit of some issues up here, but not horrible. So this is Heavy Metal number 59 from 1982. It begins the Incal Light from Metal Hurlant. So this just starts a storyline that goes through several issues. And it's just a badass cover. I mean, look at that unicorn, got the beautiful maiden. I don't know if she's an elf or what's going on, but she's kind of basking in the sun amongst the flowers and the grass. Just so cool. Love it. Blue and yellow. I love the colors. Awesome cover. This is a crazy issue. Another key. So this is Heavy Metal from July 1990. And this is going to blow your mind if you guys didn't know this. Inside this issue, there is a 12-page story titled The Wall. And the story is about Donald Trump building a border between the rich and the poor in the U.S. And this came out in 1990. So that's like a quarter century before he became president. And obviously he's had the wall thing, but won't comment either way. Keeping this politically free here as much as I can, guys. But it's mind-blowing that story was written in this, there was a story in this issue. I find that kind of stuff fascinating. The Simpsons are known for predicting the future. So anyway, pretty wild, and it's in really nice condition. So there you go. And we got this Heavy Metal Havoc. This is a special issue from December 1995. This is a Richard Corbin cover. Richard Corbin has a story in it as well. So Richie Corbin is someone I think the world of, along with Mobius. Those guys really broke ground with like psychedelic artwork, and then it's like the horror element in it and stuff. So really, really cool sci-fi, horror, psychedelic, all the stuff. So yeah, I was just happy to have that in the collection. And then we have this one. This is from September 2011. This is some very early Art Germ art. This is Art Germ on the cover. So, I mean, that's a super, super cool cover. Pink, it's got the glare right in her face, but there you go. But what an amazing cover. Pink, she's holding looks like a bass guitar, holding the cover in her nipple. You got the Art Germ sig right there. Very, very cool. So I just thought that was a really neat key to have, and it's in just absolute perfect condition. So happy to have that. And guys, heavy metal drum roll, please. Everybody at the same time. This is the one that I was really excited about. There it is. That is Heavy Metals from September 1981, number 54. This is the Grail of Heavy Metal magazine issues right here. This is Tarna, if I'm saying it correctly. And I said she's riding a Pegasus. Obviously, that is not a Pegasus, but I'm pretty sure she rides a Pegasus in the animated movie, right? I think that's how I remember it. So anyway, this is the one. This has a lot of value. If it's a near mint copy, I'll pop up like a recent sale on the screen so you can see kind of what this goes for. This is not a near mint copy, but it's pretty nice. I mean, the main issue right here is it's got a nice spine tick right there. It's got a little one right there, and then there's just there's maybe a little thing coming off the staple. It's got a little rabbit ear down there, but overall, this is in really nice condition. I was really, really pleased because in the box of all the 159 heavy metal magazines that were in this collection, the earlier issues definitely were more prone to having condition issues. So I was a little nervous when I was going through this, hoping that this was going to be in here. Sure enough, it ended up being in here, and it's not in bad shape. So, this is probably, I don't know what I'm going to call this. I'm still learning grading. I think this is a very fine. Like I said, it's got the one tick there, maybe one little one there, dog ear. What do you think? Am I good with calling that a very fine 8.0 maybe? You tell me. So what is this? Maybe like a $150 to $200 book magazine. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. Just so pleased to have this. My love for heavy metal comes from that animated movie. When I was a kid in the 80s and saw that thing, it was like just mind-blowing, because I think there's like boobs in it, and it's like, as a kid, anytime you see boobs, it's just crazy. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it PG, but either way, I did see boobies, and it blew my mind, and it was badass. It's like an amazing warrior woman just kicking ass, the whole thing, and the art was just so different. It was like classic, just cool sci-fi, just adult type of stuff. I don't even know how I saw it. When you're 10 or 11 years old at the time when I saw that, that stuff somehow, comes to you. And it did to me, and it blew my mind. So as I started getting back into comics, figured out, hey, there's these heavy metal magazines. I just immediately was like, I got to start collecting these things. And it just happens to have that a lot of artists that I just really love are involved with this magazine. So just love it. This is like my dream that I own this book. So from here on out, it's just like smooth sailing, right? So let's move over, and I'm going to show you real quick what else I got, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, guys, we've moved down to the floor. I found it just easier when I have all this stuff in boxes. Just go ahead and squat on the floor and do it this way. So as what we're looking at here, this is what I kept from my collection. I really tried, my focus has been to really work on up to 1984, but there was a lot of stuff past, this stuff gets into the 90s and even into the 2000s in this of this lot of magazines I picked up. So I did keep some of the stuff, obviously, I just showed for keys, but I did keep just some very cool covers that were maybe in the 90s or above. But I did try to focus, on the stuff up to 1984, and I tried to focus on stuff that was in stuff that I needed that was in good condition. So yeah, and then I sold the rest, and I'll as I'm going through this, is what I'll do real quick is just mention. Well, you know what? I'll just show this real quick. So we got February 1978. I know I'm picking up a glare. August 1978. October 1978, December 78, February 79. Look at that cover. That's so cool. That's August 1979. Love that cover. June 1979. This is, July 79. Should have done better to not have this giant glare on there, but it is what it is. August 1979, November 79, August 80, and then we have September 1980, March 1982, January 84, May 84, August 84, and this is Winter 86. I just love this cover. It's just really cool. Look at that. I love that. And then we jump up to January 1990. This is March 1990, May 1990, September 1990, November 1990, and that's March 91. This one, I just love the Betty Page kind of deal right here. It's July 91. This one's condition's, a little aged, but what a cover. And that's January 94, July 94, November 94, March 95. Love that zebra cover. May 95, July 95. Love this orange cover. That's really beautiful. It's a nice shape. And that's from September 95. And then last but not least, November 95. All right, so moving over. This is the box that I still have, and I'm going to sell these. And this is like, there's a whole bunch in here. Look at this. And it goes into the 2000s, like 2006, 2012, 2001, 2000. So it's got 6 issues. I think there's like usually 8 issues per year because you have 6 issues and then maybe 2 of the 2 other issues that are like special issues. So I have at least 6 issues for each year. And there's a whole bunch. There's 159 total that I ended up getting. And then, I think I kept, I don't know what that was, maybe probably 30 all in, 25 to 30 that I kept. And so I'm going to get rid of all of these. Look at that cover right there. How cool is that? And I think I'm going to do it on a whatnot sale. That's kind of where I'm leaning. This might be my first whatnot sale to sell all of these. If people are watching this and they like heavy metal, and you're interested in a whatnot sale, let me know. Maybe I'll react based off of that. I've already sold some lots, so I'm going to pop these up real quick. I sold a lot of like early issues that were in kind of rougher shape, and I put it as is, so some of them weren't bad. Some of them might even have a loose staple. And then I sold a few other lots of like some 1990 issues, and I sold a lot of, I think, 2006. So anyway, I have moved some heavy metal books already. At this point, I have recouped my $200. So I've, based off of the Mad magazines, then the sales of the heavy metal magazines, the sales of the Mad paperback books, I've made my money, I think, plus some, actually, because there's a lot that's going to end, I think, today. So I'll pop those up as I was talking here just to see if show you kind of maybe what I made, just to, so I think it's fun to show kind of what you can make, or how I'm doing this, how I'm flipping and stuff. So anyway, yeah. All right, guys. So there you go. I'd love to know what you think about that score. I was really happy with it. I obviously, as I've discussed, I made my money back and probably then some as I work through selling off a little bit more. And the whole goal for me is if I can, get my money back and then keep the stuff that I want. And then if I even make a little extra money on top of it, that's great. Usually my attitude is breaking even. I'm not really in this to be like a guy that's, wheeling and dealing comics to make money. It's nice when I do. I'm not against it at all. I like the hustle, but really for me, it's like, can I build my collection and then just do it through deals like this? So I think it worked out pretty well. I ended up with the one heavy metal magazine that I have been chasing. It's kind of the best of the heavy metals. And it's in pretty nice shape other than that one little dinger there. And then you got to take the good with the bad. And I got this, unfortunate mess of a comic, but can't really see. But there you go. You see that? Yeah, I showed that. So anyway, fun stuff. I love it. I love driving up to go get it. I love the anticipation. I love getting home and pulling the boxes down in my basement and starting to go through stuff. And I just had a lot of fun with this one. So yeah, anyway, hope everybody enjoyed it. Again, hit like and subscribe. I forgot to mention it to start the video once again. I just can't do it. I just can't remember. But I know you can remember to do it yourself right now. If you haven't done it, it feels good to hit that like and subscribe. It kind of boosts your day. I know it. And then you can just go tell all your friends and your family to go hit and like and subscribe. And just make it a like and subscribe party. Trust me, you'll have a good time. So anyway, you guys take care. Thanks for watching. Peace out.